In the beginning, based on Genesis chapter 1 and 2. In the beginning, day 1. There was nothing except God. God's Spirit moved through the void. Then he spoke.
Let there be light.
Then God separated the waters of the nothingness into the moisture and clouds of the sky above, and the drops and waves of the ocean below. God named the sky heavens. God named the lower waters the sea. He gathered together the waters of the sea, exposing dry ground. He named the dry land earth. On this land he made grass and flowers and trees. He made them with seeds so they could grow more grass and flowers and trees. The fruitful earth was a place of beauty, and God knew that it was good. Then God fashioned the sun, the moon, and the stars to light the earth, and he set them in the heavens to mark the days, seasons, and years. God said, "Let the water be filled with living creatures," and the seas and the rivers swarmed with whales and fish. God said, "Let birds fly through the sky," and the open sky above the earth was filled with every kind of flying bird. "Be fruitful and fill the earth," God said, as he blessed the living creatures of the sea and sky. And God knew that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures." And God made all kinds of animals, wild ones, tame ones, even those that crawl on the ground. Then God created the first man, Adam, and the first woman, Eve. They were the greatest of all God's creations because he made them in his own image, to be a reflection of what he is like. God made Adam and Eve with souls that would live forever, and he planned for people to rule and live in harmony with every living thing on earth. God looked at everything that he had made, and he knew it was all very, very good. And on the seventh day, God rested. God showed Adam and Eve the beauty and fruitfulness of the garden they lived in. He told them, "You may eat of every tree except one, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you eat from that tree, you will die."
Tempted in the garden, based on Genesis 3.
Look, Adam, the little bird comes when I call.
God is good to us. He has given us everything.
Everything except fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yes, that is forbidden.
But Eve wonders, and one day she goes to the tree and gazes at the forbidden fruit. Satan, in the form of a serpent, tempts Eve, saying,
"Are you sure God said not to eat this fruit?"
Oh, yes. If we even touch it, we'll die.
"Oh, you won't die if you touch it. See? And if you eat it, you will be wise, just like God."
You're right. And if this fruit will make me wise, surely there's no harm in taking just one bite. Adam, it tastes delicious, and it will make you wise.
But the forbidden fruit has far different effects than the serpent promised. Suddenly, Adam and Eve realized they have disobeyed God. Their innocence is taken away as well.
We're not wise. We're just naked.
Cover yourself with these leaves. We must hide.
In the stillness of the garden, God comes to Adam and Eve.
How did you know you were naked? Have you eaten the fruit I told you not to eat?
I only ate it because the woman you gave me handed it to me.
The serpent you created tricked me.
Because you disobeyed me, you must leave this beautiful garden. From now on, you'll have to work hard to survive.
God makes clothes for Adam and Eve out of animal skins and sends them away.
Look, A flaming sword blocks the entrance to the garden. We can never go back now.
Where can we go? What can we do?
God's promise of salvation. The perfect unity between God and His beloved creation is now broken for all time. Adam and Eve are forced to create a new life out of their knowledge and shame. But already, God has a plan to redeem His creation. God promises that one day He will save His people. Brothers' blood cry, based on Genesis 4 and 5. Outside the Garden of Eden, the land is barren, hot, and dry. Weary, alone, and frightened, Adam and Eve search until they find a place to make a home.
Remember how beautiful Eden was? If only...
It is our own fault for disobeying God. But I will teach our children to obey and love God. If I can help it, they won't repeat our mistake.
So Adam teaches their sons, Cain and Abel, about God.
God made the earth and everything we have.
God even gave me my little lamb.
Sheep are dumb.
How can I thank Him?
When you're older, Abel, you can give God the best of your flock. He told us we should make sacrifices to show our thankfulness.
As the boys grow to manhood, Abel plans for the day when he can give his thanks offering to God. But Cain thinks only of his crops.
If Abel gives God a sacrifice, I'll have to offer one too.
God is pleased with Abel's gift, but Cain's grudging spirit displeases God.
Why should God be happy with Abel and not with me? It's not fair. As long as Abel is around, he'll always be the favorite. God told me I could choose to have power over my sin, but I'd rather choose not to have a brother.
Cain gives in to his jealousy and kills his brother.
Now I just need to pretend I don't know anything about Abel's death.
But God calls out to Cain.
Cain, where is your brother?
I don't know. Am I supposed to keep track of my brother? He knows.
Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. From now on, the ground will yield no fruit for you, and you will wander the earth until your death.
Please, God, this punishment is more than I can take.
God's sentence is carried out. Cain flees to a land called Nod. Eventually, he will get married, start a family, and build the first city, which he names for his son Enoch. But in the meantime, Adam and Eve are heartbroken over losing both of their sons.
Our house is so empty now. Adam, will we always be alone like this?
We brought this tragedy on ourselves. So did Cain. But God has been good to us. Let's ask Him to help us now.
In time, God gives Adam and Eve a third son.
We'll call him Seth.
And we'll teach him to obey God the way Abel did.
Seth learns to obey God. Two of his descendants are Enoch, who walked with God, and Methuselah, who died at the age of 969, the oldest person who ever lived. As generations pass, however, people turn away from God. They lie, cheat, and murder. They worship the sun and the moon and the stars, and they bow down before idols. But there is one man, Noah, who looks on the sinfulness of the world with fear.
How long will God allow this wickedness to continue?